Welcome back, Mahula fans and Mahula friends, to You Know Who, and as you can see, you know where. We are about to start Nightfall Escape. Just to let you guys know, if you don't know already, I am Filipino. I am what you would call American Pinoy, meaning that I am an American born Filipino. Yes, I'm an American citizen, born in America, Filipino descendancy. My parents are immigrants, and we're very proud. And I'm very proud for this game to come out, Nightfall Escape, the first full Filipino horror game. Actually, the first only Filipino horror game. So I just wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to be doing a series on this soon, once I have some time from real life. And like my friend said, I'm going to give you the authentic Filipino accents with full Filipino action. I forget how I put it. It was like an old 80s action figure commercial. But yeah, that's what I'm going to give you. We are going to be playing Nightfall Escape, the first Filipino horror game. I will also include a link. Well, no, that's the trailer. I'm going to also include a link over here to um this was recorded sometime about, yeah, almost a year ago, where the CEO of the developer of the game was interviewed by Filipino television, where that the Philippines has finally made its first steps into the video gaming industry. And I mean, we've made apps, we've made little mobile games and things like that. But yeah, this is our first step. I'm proud, even though I'll admit the game is it's lacking in some places, but I'll have to say it is a good first attempt. Um, and I'll admit I think it was a little rushed, but I wouldn't mind if they made improvements and finally just push the improvements out. Um, I wouldn't mind that. So and at the same time, in the Steam discussion pages, there's a link to the Filipino mythical creatures where that okay, these are mythical creatures that our culture has created, of course, just like any culture is created from people who are misinformed, less educated, things like that. Where that, to be totally honest, the mythical creatures I would say are more of superstition. They're more of superstition than anything else, and that's what they really are. I guess that's how they started with superstition, and then we just continue to develop it. Basically in the rural areas, areas where that, of course, you don't get that much TV and you don't get that much entertainment, so you gotta, put out these things out there. And so yeah, I will be going through a couple of these things and some pronunciations of the words. But I'll leave a link in the description of this video to everything you've seen so far. But yeah, I mean, you'll be seeing some of these things like aswang. Aswang outside of the Philippines has been misunderstood as to being our version of the vampire. Sort of, but it's true. It's more of shapeshifters. Shape-shifting night creatures is the basic gist of what an aswang is. It's more of a category, and then you have specific aswangs in here. Duande, the ek, Garuda, Capre, Kinara. Now these are mythical creatures. These are not mythical monsters. Just are mythical creatures. Malakas and Maganda actually are two different words named for, and it says here literally means strong one and beautiful one for a pair here. Mambarang, Mambabarang. And then this one is featured in the game too, where that I hear everybody mutilate the name of this. It's called the Manananggal. Okay, it's Manananggal, the Manananggal. A lot of people aren't used to it, but I've heard it so much in my youth, where that, of course, Filipino parents try to frighten their kids being grown up here in America, and it doesn't really work too well and too long. The Mangkukulam, Maria Makaling, and then here this is the first monster out of the game, the Pasatsat, and then and then you had the other one, I forgot what the word was, Hambulangan Pasatsat. If you see that in the game, and I asked my dad, I never heard of that word. What is that? I actually had to ask him when I saw him, and I was like, "What is that word?" He's like, "Oh, that just means big." What? Yeah, big or giant. I'm like, you have a 5 syllable word just to say big. He's like, yeah, well, that's what it is. And at the same time, you'll see here, si pasat-sat, manananggal, mangkukulam. You'll see that in our language, you'll see a lot of syllables repeated, syllables that are, yeah, repeated in some kind of a rhythm. It's kind of weird. Siokoi. This is what this means here. Siokoi. Tikbalang. You know, some of the, okay, of course, a lot of these aren't in the game, and there are a few more that are in the game that aren't on these pages. But then the game itself does give you a description, where that, from my understanding, just like where the Pasatsat starts out, is that most of the mythical creatures, monsters, have an origin from the war for independence between the Filipinos and the Spaniards, independence from Spain. So that's where it's coming out of. And at the same time, if you guys are wondering also and curious, because I don't think it goes into detail in the game itself, not too much. But then if you want an well, it does go into detail. I'm sorry, it does go into detail of the game, but it's in pieces. You can go into their website, go to about game, and then, or is it the story? You know, this is the basic, and then it'll give you the story background as to how they wrote it, for the game itself, as to the legend of the mansion and what happened. And it says here, as you notice here, it says here 2008 is where the story of the game starts, because that's when they actually started developing the game itself. So it technically takes place in 2008. But when you go into a horror game, it doesn't really matter as to where you're starting now, does it? Or I should say, when you're starting. So hopefully you guys will enjoy my presentation of it. You probably have seen so many people go through the game. I want to go through the game because of the puzzles, not so much for the jump scares, but also for seeing a game influenced by a culture outside of America. I think, what was it? Dreadout. Dreadout was a game that was influenced by our neighbors, the Indonesians. And it's a funny thing, Indonesians are by genetics close cousins to the Filipinos. So hey, we're number 2 when it comes to developing our games. So hey, hopefully you guys liked it. Hopefully you enjoyed my little spiel. I'm going to make it nice and short, nice and quick. Hopefully it was informative enough. That's what I made this video for, is making it informative for you. Any questions, let me know. I don't know anything, but I like to talk about things that I know and things that I would like to know and learn. I don't know everything, but I like to at least inform my people. Well, not my people, the Filipinos, but I mean my people, the Americans, my fellow Americans, where I live in America, and I am a full-fledged American-born Pinoy. Oh, and for you people who don't know, if you hear that term, Pinoy and Pinay, that is the word that we Filipinos call ourselves. We don't say that we're Filipinos or Filipinas. Well, we do, but then to make it short or something that's a little bit more colloquial, we call ourselves Pinoy or Pinay. Okay. Thanks a lot, guys, for spending time with me. Thank you for your love and support. Hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know. We ask for your continued love and support. Like I said, let us know what you think, questions, concerns. Give us those clicks, give us those likes, give us those dislikes if you don't like it. Hey, you know what? I'm just glad that you guys are watching. So all I got to say is stay thirsty, keep frosty, be safe out there in the real world. We take risks for you in these virtual worlds so that you and your wallets don't have to. Thanks a lot.